Swift Contractors, we're going to show you how to save revenue on your fuel purchases in this basic guide to purchasing fuel. The key to this is understanding your actual fuel cost. So the price at the pump includes that state's tax rate. In this video, we're going to use Georgia and Florida fuel prices for our comparison. And to make it simple, we're just going to use the Pilot Flying J truck stops along the way. Something that should be considered in your comparison is the fact that Swift pays us a rebate of 5 cents per gallon if we fuel at any of the big 5 truck stops. Just take that 5 cents per gallon off the pump price and go on with the following steps. Just remember, the rebate only comes if you fuel at the big 5 stops and only if you use Swift's COM data card to make the purchase. What you need to know is the tax rates for each state you're going to be comparing prices in. There's a ton of resources on the internet to get this information. I'll put a link at the end of this video for the site that I use to get this information. So we have Florida at 0.3387 per gallon. We have Georgia at 0.2940 per gallon. We'll need to know the prices of fuel along our route. I used the Pilot Flying J app to get the current prices between Lake City, Florida and Valdosta, Georgia because I'm low on fuel. There's 3 stops in my fueling window, 1 in Florida, 2 in Georgia. As luck would have it, all 3 are the same price today, 3.159. Here's where we're going to do a little math. So for Florida, the pump price is 3.159. We're going to subtract the IFTA price of 0.3387, and that's going to give us an actual fuel cost of 2.8203 per gallon. We're going to do the same thing for Georgia. We're going to take that pump price, remove the tax of 0.294, and it's going to give us an actual price of 2.865. Just from the simple math, we can see the price is lower for the fuel in Florida if we remove the tax price from the equation. Why do we remove the tax price from the equation, you ask? Let's get into it now. As a contractor at Swift, we pay the tax based on the miles we travel through each state. The tax is going to be paid no matter what. Other trucking companies cover the cost of IFTA, and then you look at this entire process different. But as a Swift contractor, the cost falls on us. Swift may spread the money around for us, but they're using our money to do it, so we need to pay attention to it. So these tax rates vary from state to state. While some are small, other ones are pretty big. But it doesn't matter because we're going to pay it no matter what, as long as we travel through those states based on the miles we run in those states. So we want to know the actual cost of fuel itself and ignore the tax rate. So doing the simple math, we saw in the example that the cost of fuel is cheaper in Florida than it is in Georgia. Even though the prices are the same at the pump, the tax rates change it. Some days people get tricked into thinking that fuel is cheaper in Georgia because the pump price is 1 or 2 cents lower. But if you factor in the tax rates, that's where it changes. You need to know the tax rate for each state to get the real cost. It's the cost minus the tax, or IFTA. That's what's important. Again, it's the cost minus IFTA. That's what's important. So in this example, you're saving about 4.5 cents per gallon. On this fill up alone, I saved $7.15 on 160 gallons of fuel that I purchased. Just using these numbers and my normal fuel usage of about 160 gallons a day, I would have saved a little over $2,000 annually, and that's based on me only working 280 days a year. So saving that extra $2,000 a year means you get to do something else with it. Save it for maintenance, a new toy, a trip maybe, I don't know, maybe pay off your truck sooner. That's up to you. The fact remains you save that much by doing something so simple and just understanding what your fuel's costing you. To wrap this up, you need to understand the savings could be even bigger. Depending on which state you're buying your fuel in, you could even add a little more complexity to your comparison. You could even add in the points you get from these truck stops because at some of those truck stops, those points are as good as cash. You can buy just about whatever they have to sell. But this guide is just to cover the basics of purchasing fuel. As long as you're contracted to someone like Swift Transportation or any company where the IFTA cost falls on you, this guide will save you a couple $1,000s a year. What you do with that couple $1,000s a year is up to you. If you think this basic guide to purchasing fuel will help you or another driver who's contracted to Swift Transportation, then hit that thumbs up and share it. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you get notified when we put out more videos like this one that we think will help you make and save more money here on Swift Contractors Corner. Here's a link for the site I use for the IFTA rates in this video. Make sure you select the current quarter in the drop-down menu so you get the latest tax rates available. Also, you can go wherever it is you get your apps from and download the Pilot Flying J app to get current fuel prices, locations, and other stuff.